The Chicago Bears have their new offensive coordinator in Shane Waldron that they signed earlier this week, along with they brought in new quarterback coach Kerry. Both of them have worked with the Seahawks for the last couple of seasons and helped develop guys like DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Noah Fant. All had spectacular times over the last couple of seasons with the Seahawks, and one or two of them could potentially come to the Bears if the move is right this upcoming offseason. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Zach Brody, and today we are going to go over what would happen if the Bears not only got some former coaches of the Seahawks, but some players that are currently on the roster that could help enhance the offense. Just putting it out there, I am not touching that #1 overall pick with Seattle in this video. Stay tuned for next week. Might do a blockbuster video proposition with the Seahawks, but today I am not trading that #1 overall pick. I am keeping it, so I still have a shot at getting a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr. I still could take a quarterback if I want to, or I can just get a haul in general to build this team even more. But the Bears do have that #9 overall pick, so just keep that in mind. And before I get into more on these guys and potential trade situations or signing situations, because Noah Fant's going to be a free agent, if you want the Chicago Bears to potentially get some of the Seahawks' main offensive weapons this upcoming offseason, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, as it helps it tremendously to show your support. Also, comment who you want for the right price, or if you're just here to enjoy Bears content, make sure you write Bear down. And if you guys please could hit that subscribe button to help grow the channel and stay up to date on all Chicago Bears content. So the first guy I'm going to go over is the biggest name out of the three, and that's wide receiver DK Metcalf. I would love it if Metcalf came to the Chicago Bears out of the three, and he'd be worth the price of his contract. Metcalf is 6'4", 235 pounds, runs less than a 4.4 40 time, and he was drafted in 2019 with the 64th overall pick and has been one of the league's best receivers since entering the league. A big, fast, physical wide receiver is a defensive back's nightmare, and fun fact, his dad actually was an offensive lineman for the Bears in the mid-2000s. Metcalf is also a Bears fan. He's admitted it a couple of times. He's excited about what this team is doing, and I'm sure he was even more excited when Shane Waldron came to the Bears because of the fact that, hey, he might get dealt to there. His career stats is that he's a one-time Pro Bowler, has over 5,300 receiving yards, averaging over 1,000 per season. He has 43 receiving touchdowns, 249 first downs, and a career average of 14.3 yards per catch. In 2023 for the Seahawks, he had 66 receptions for over 1,100 yards, a 16.9 yard per catch average, and 8 receiving touchdowns, going absolutely complete beast mode. His current contract has left over the next 2 seasons, being a 2-year, $54 million, which, if you guys think about it, that's not too far off what DJ Moore's contract was when we traded him from the Panthers. So if I were to trade with the Seahawks to get a big-bodied wide receiver that expands the offense, is a veteran, no Shane Waldron's offense, and overall is just a great person to have in the locker room, I am sending Seattle the #9 overall pick, and I'm getting Metcalf in the #16 overall pick. You're getting, again, your big wide receiver too, potentially just another big mentor wide receiver that's good for whatever wide receiver we go out and get in the top picks. You're also getting a slightly later first, so you are able to still get top talent that you could take at offensive lineman or defensive tackle. The second guy I want to talk about today that the Bears could bring in, and a good replacement for Darnell Mooney if we don't re-sign him, is wide receiver Tyler Lockett. 5'10", 182-pound wide receiver, is 31 years old, was drafted in 2015 at the #69 pick, and he's a veteran slot receiver. What we need, that could be like a Taylor Gabriel type player when we brought him back in 2018. He's a 3-time All-Pro, 1-time Pro Bowler, over 8,000 yards receiving in his career, 363 first downs, a career 13.1 yard per catch average, and 59 receiving touchdowns. This past season for the Seahawks, he had 894 receiving yards, 11.3 yard per catch average, and 5 receiving touchdowns. A fast, deep threat that expands the field and has unbelievable vision downfield. He hasn't shown any signs of slowing down. You know, he missed a game this past year, but he almost broke 1,000 yards for the 5th season in a row. And honestly, he's just a really good wide receiver at getting first downs, because when he does go downfield, no one can guard him because of his quick speed. He has nearly the same amount left on his the 2 years that he has on his current contract, like DK Metcalf, about $57.5 million. So honestly, this would only happen if Seattle chewed a ton of his contract. Metcalf's a lot younger. That's where the Bears probably wouldn't get that type of perk, but the Seahawks would have to choose some of his contract in order for Chicago to even consider taking him on. And we don't really need an older wide receiver vet like him. I mean, we do have DK Metcalf and DJ Moore, which are considered young vets. I mean, I'm saying if we get DK Metcalf, who I really want. But I would send Seattle this year's third and a next year fourth, along with them cutting some of his cap. But, you know, maybe throwing in a 25-6 rounder. I don't know. Nothing crazy, but I would like to have him on the roster. I think he would be another great mentor. Knowing Shane Waldron's offense, being able to bring guys up to speed would be a great asset to have. Now, the last guy that we don't even have to trade for, that we can just sign in free agency if he hits it, is tight end Noah Fant, who, you know, is 6'4", 249 pounds, 26 years old, a strong tight end that isn't too much of an overkill at the tight end position, pairing with Cole Kmet. Both of them are respected and good in their own ways. Fant is a great blocking tight end. He also plays a lot like a wide receiver, and he had a pretty decent season last year. Career-wise, though, he has almost 3,000 receiving yards, 11.1 yard per catch average, 126 first downs, and 14 receiving touchdowns. This past season, he had 414 yards, a 12.9 yard per catch average. So Shane Waldron's offense made him have a career year in regards to yards per catch, and he had 16 first downs. Big physical tight end that battles for yards. I could see the Bears bringing him in on a 3-year, $18 million contract, which I wouldn't mind. So honestly, if the Bears were to bring in Fant as their tight end too, along with trading for either DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett, which I prefer DK Metcalf for the money, the age, and the ability, the Bears still can solidify the rest of their roster through the draft. Again, in that trade with Metcalf, I still got another mid-first rounder. So we'll see what happens. But those three guys, again, all of them know the offense. All of them would be plug-and-play players. They'd be able to help others get up to speed. And they're respected by Shane Waldron. He says nothing but good things. And DK Metcalf even said a ton of great things about Waldron when he went to Chicago. So something to keep an eye on. Let me know your thoughts, though, in the comments section below. Thanks for tuning into this Saturday's episode of Just Another Year Chicago. But as always, guys, enjoy your weekend. More Bears news to come. Hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all Chicago Bears news. With that, thank you as always for tuning in, and bear down, baby.